that the business community has indicated in the past in the chamber that in fact, while we've supposedly had a property tax freeze for 13 years, you've been busy, Sam, increasing the fees at every opportunity and putting in a huge burden on businesses and on families who are trying to access services and to expand their businesses. And it has been taxation through the back door that has been a real drain on the economy and not encourage the kind of investment you're talking about. I think, in fact, if we started getting our priorities straight and started investing in our crumbling infrastructure and addressing the serious rate of crime in our streets, we would see an
So would you sell
growth.
assets, yes or no? Would you sell any city assets? That was the question.
That would be the last thing I would consider. The first would be to actually find ways to grow the economy by encouraging investment and encouraging expansion of businesses and encouraging economic development opportunities which are possible when you in fact deal with the root causes of people's alienation from this community. When you start taking away the red light of high crime and crumbling infrastructure, we can do great things. We can build the city again.
Thank you. We're going to move on to our last major policy area, which is accountability and transparency. And back to my colleague, I still hope he's my colleague, Barclay Kivas.
Thanks. I'll always be your colleague, Dan.
Thank you.
Until I get fired. Transparency is something you guys both talk about a lot, and I already know what you guys say. Mr. Katz, you say EPC is really open, anyone can sit down. You talk about how when you were building Campus Park, you weren't allowed to come. Now anyone can come to EPC. You often say that you're the first mayor to post expenses. You say that you're going to reduce and are reducing the number of in-camera meetings. Judy Wasylycia-Leis, you say you would love to crack open Veolia. You often mention. You also mention that you will hold budget consultations. So we've heard these things. But I'd like you to both say one specific thing, one new thing that you would do to make City Hall more transparent if you were elected mayor on October 27th. And I'm asking you to be specific, and I would really love to hear you guys just throw the talking points out the window for this response.
Sam?
One thing. I think the most important thing that a mayor could do, Bart, would basically be listen to the people who are basically your boss, the taxpayers. Those are the ones who basically count. And those are the ones you have to answer to. You don't have to answer to any political party or anybody else. You answer to the people. And from my point of view, I think the most important thing to do would be to make sure that the public knows that they can correspond with the mayor at any particular point in time, share their comments, share their views, get their calls returned on a regular basis, and make sure that people have access to the mayor so that they actually feel they have a say. That's probably what I would do right now, because it's up to the public. And quite often we have a few people who take advantage of that, but not the public in general. I mean, you know, so I'd like to broaden that to make sure that everybody feels they can make a contribution and share their opinions and share their values, and know that it does exist an open door policy to the mayor's office, which I do believe I've had since day one.
Judy?
It's precisely the lack of access that people find right now in terms of City Hall that compels me to, in fact, address this issue the same way Sam Katz has done, which is to say, for once, let us open the doors of City Hall to allow for that open dialogue that has not existed. In fact, why not establish a regular advisory process between the business community and City Hall? Why, in fact, do so many groups, whether it's the business community or the social planning council or the artistic community, continually ask for the doors of City Hall to be opened up so that their voices can be heard? So the first thing I would do would be, in fact, to do what Sam claims he has done but has not done, which is be truly open to people's views and truly willing to hear the ideas people have to build a great city.
Okay, so Judy, if you're elected mayor, what are you going to do the first time I ask you for comment on an in-camera report? If you're elected mayor, what are you going to do the first time I ask you for comment on, say, the luxury hotel water park that may or may not be going up across from the Canadian Museum for Human Rights south of the Baltimore?
I'm certainly, I'm not sure why I would sit on a report that has to do with the development of a water park. I think the public deserves to hear, and I have a responsibility to share. That's precisely why I have said, I know you're sick and tired of hearing about Veolia, but my goodness,
I'm not sick and tired of it. I'm asking for new points.
But the fact of the matter is, we are talking about something that potentially ties the city's hands for 30 years, that involves somewhere between $650 million and $1 billion in costs. And you're telling me, Bartley, that we should not know as citizens of this city what is in the contract, or expect City Hall to open up the door so we can actually see what is in the contract? We're talking about something that is fundamentally going to alter the way in which we do business, the way in which we can deal with our wastewater management systems. I would suggest to you that that is the place you start, and you use that as a model in terms of every aspect of business at City Hall. There is no reason in the world why, in fact, that contract has not been opened up for scrutiny. And
okay, I don't think you can fairly accuse me of not writing about Veolia.
No, not at all, Bartley, but I think we need to, in fact, remind
you guys, I'm gonna ask Sam Katz now. This is gonna be uncomfortable for me, but what the heck. Talk about transparency. A couple of years ago, myself and some of my colleagues at the CBC were asking you about Riverside Park Management and opening up their books. You basically said at the time you didn't have to. So would you reconsider that, perchance?
No, that's not what I said. I specifically said that the focus should be on why one piece of property is paying $2 and why all the properties surrounded are paying significantly, like $1. That was my first comment to you, Bart. And from my point of view is, first of all, I'd like to give 30 more seconds to Ms. Wasylycia-Leis to answer the in-camera story report that you asked, but you never got an answer to, because I was very curious to see what it was. So that's number one. Okay, we'll let Bart decide that. But anyways, Bart, the story was written. You wrote it, all right? I know exactly what the deal was.
Except that story led me to believe that there was the interlocking relationship between Winnipeg Goldeyes Baseball Club and Riverside Park Management, Riverside Park Management nonprofit agency, and it appeared that that we had additional questions about the way those two related and the increasing payments made to Riverside Park over the years. So myself and the CBC have been asking to have you release that, and that was a different issue than the assessments law.
And today the issue is the City of Winnipeg, under the Winnipeg Parking Authority, has that law, which you're well aware of. And I guess
it's not the lot. It's not the lot that interests me. It's the interlocking relationship. It's a 2-year-old story, but.
Well, Bart, as far as the Winnipeg Goldeyes is concerned, if you have your business, then you can share information. It's a private entity, Winnipeg Goldeyes Baseball Club, and that's the way it is. You may ask people what they want about their private business. They may volunteer it or not. The only thing I will share with you is that yours truly built a ballpark for the Pan Am Games, saving the city millions of dollars because they committed to build it for the Pan Am Games. And when we wanted to buy the property, we were told no, but we built it anyways, and we basically pay $1 a year with a 25-year